Baseball season is here at last, and the excitement continues all season long at DraftKings.com, the official daily fantasy partner of Major League Baseball. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Why wait until the end of the season to claim victory when you can win huge cash every day? Hurry to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code PARDON to play for free. You could win part of the $300 million in prizes being awarded this season. Enter PARDON for free entry now at DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com.
Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. Tony, a man was arrested for urinating into a hotel ice machine.
I'm Tony Kornheiser. If you think that's bad, you should see what I left in the minibar.
I just hope you left the Johnny Walker Red, those little bottles. I hope you left those in the minibar, because you've been known to, you know what I'm saying.
I wouldn't spit on Johnny Walker Red. Johnny Walker Blue is different.
Oh,
I left what could charitably be called a tip.
You did not. Don't try to go Pedro Guerrero on me. And very few people
I won't do that.
know what that
I'll
means.
go Gilbert Arenas. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, Nick Saban is upset. Nick Faldo was rooting against Jordan Spieth, and the president jabs at the Patriots. But we begin today with Blake Griffin taking complete blame for his Clippers' overtime loss to San Antonio last night. Griffin said, quote, "That game is pretty much 100% on me," unquote. Although Griffin had 29 points, 12 rebounds, and 11 assists, Griffin also made a terrible turnover with his team up 2 in regulation and 13 seconds left. It led to San Antonio tying the game to force overtime. Wilbon, Griffin blames Griffin. Do you blame Griffin?
Tony, I have a little mercy here, I guess. I mean, he played so well in that game. He played great. I think it might have been Blake Griffin's best playoff game of his career. He made this mistake. I mean, and it's in front of him. The play's in front of him. There's nobody lurking behind him. Nobody sneaks up. There's no trickeration from the other team. He commits essentially an unforced error, and you don't want to go to OT. You don't want to play any extra seconds against San Antonio.
So do you blame him?
Had that game.
Do you blame him?
I'm going to let him blame himself.
So
I
what are you
accept
going
that.
to
I
push?
accept it. I accept it.
Okay.
I do.
It's crazy to blame someone when he goes a triple-double, when he goes 29, 12, and 11.
Well, he did it.
That turnover was terrible.
Yeah.
It was a fancy pants, unnecessary, pointless move between his legs, and he coughed up the ball.
Yep.
And I do blame him. I think he's 100% right. Because they don't have to go to overtime. They're going to win that game.
They're going to win
All right? So I think he takes the blame justifiably, because let me ask you something.
It's
Who else are you going to blame?
Well,
who else?
No, listen, this was an epic playoff game. It wasn't a great game because it wasn't necessarily well played. There were crazy stretches in it. You got DeAndre Jordan missing like 7 straight free throws at one point.
And by the way, I'd put him on the line every
time.
second.
And that's what's happening. Tony, J.J. Redick shot a free throw. I think it was a technical foul shot, in which the ball just sat on the rim like it was never going to fall either way. And that winds up being the difference in this game. You have to go to overtime. Pop has not been down 0-2 in a series, and it looked like they were on the verge of that last night.
We talk about
it does come down to one play sometimes.
Getting old in a hurry. Now, this was not the game, because Tim Duncan, who's going to be 39 years old in 2 games,
Riverwalk
had played 44 minutes
great.
and had, whatever, 29 points or something like that.
He was
but
great.
let me tell you this. If the Clippers lose this series, if they lose
this
it, they
game,
will be
look at this game.
If they will be regarded as a team and a franchise that you do not have to take seriously. If they lose the series.
Well, we got a long way to go.
Yes.
You make a good point,
Thank
Tony.
you.
But I tell you what's going to be tough for the Spurs. Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili. They're not there.
I'm not saying
Tony Parker hurt. Manu Ginobili looking like he did 2 years ago, not last year.
This game belongs
it's
to
a critical
the Clippers.
game. They should have won it. Lots of beef in the Stanley Cup playoffs, Tone, including between the Islanders and your Capitals. The Islanders are seething because their 5'10" Lubomir Wisnowski was blowed up by 6'4" Tom Wilson in a behind-the-net collision that left Wisnowski dazed and listed as out indefinitely. One Islander, Kyle Okposo, said of Wilson, quote, "He's an idiot," close quote. And even Wilson's teammate, Brooks Laich, said, quote, "That hit was maybe a little questionable," close quote. But the NHL issued no further punishment for Wilson so far. Anyway, Tony, what did the Islanders do about this tonight? Game 5, series tied.
I don't watch a lot of hockey. I was watching that live. I saw that happen. That was not like Dale Hunter, because it wasn't from behind. But this guy Wilson came in there. He obliterated this kid from the Islanders. He went after him.
He was penalized. It was called an illegal hit.
Okay, now the Capitals broadcast crew wondered if it was a penalty at all, but it certainly looked like a penalty. As to what did they do, I don't think you can retaliate. The series could not be more even. It's 2-2. There have been 2 overtime games. Yeah. Nothing separates these teams. So if you lose one of your guys because he becomes a headhunter and he's out and you can lose a series because of that, you know what? I think you got to eat it.
Well,
I think you got to eat it.
Tony, there's precedent already for this in the playoffs. This is not the regular season where you do go headhunting to retaliate. We've got Ottawa and Montreal. And P.K. Subban went out there like a slashing maniac. And, Ottawa wound up losing the next game anyway. But they couldn't afford to retaliate against Montreal. I don't think the Islanders can afford on the road against a Capitals team with a pretty good power play in the regular season.
That's where Alexander Ovechkin is at his best.
Yeah.
And even though the Islanders are 0 for 10 in there. Yeah, but I'm talking about historically this season. Yes. He had more power play goals than anybody in the league. No, they cannot retaliate at this point. It's impossible.
They're going to be tempted. They're going to want to.
You can want to, but you don't.
Big on small crime.
You don't think the referees are attuned to what could happen next there?
Sure they are.
Come on.
Absolutely.
The Super Bowl champion Patriots visited the White House today, and President Obama took a shot or two at Deflategate in their presence. Let's listen.
I usually tell a bunch of jokes at these events, but with the Patriots in town, I was worried that 11 out of 12 of them would fall flat. All right. That whole story got blown a little out of proportion.
But I want to tell you, folks, this Deflategate investigation has already taken more time than the Aaron Hernandez murder trial, more time than Kim Kardashian and Chris Humphrey's marriage,
that wasn't long.
And more time than Christopher Columbus's voyage to discover America. Wilbon, when this report is finally released, is it even going to matter?
I said at the time this investigation started, the report wasn't going to matter. The investigation, nor the report. They got to apologize to somebody in the NFL. They're going to have to apologize to Robert Kraft. But you know what?
Who was wearing his Nikes today.
Yeah,
not flip-flops, but Nikes.
Goodell can take that. He's used to probably, slurping up to Robert Kraft. And so he can apologize to him because Kraft has demanded an apology unless the investigation shows wrongdoing. Or they're going to have to pop the Patriots. I have not believed for one moment since this thing started that the league is going to pop the Patriots.
There is one thing that will make it matter. If when it is finally released, it finds systemic fraud on the part of the Patriots and names Belichick and Brady. Because what you want, if you're looking to...
And you think the chances of that happening are what?
Very, very slim.
Nil.
But you want to get to a point where you can say, then take the Super Bowl away. And I don't think that's going to happen. I think that there will be a report, it will be released, but the NFL strategy in all of these things is delay.
Delay until people are on to something else.
Well, they're on to it already, and I'll tell you why. It's a joke now. It's a national joke. When it gets to the White House, and you can tell jokes in front of the Patriots, there's nothing more symbolic of what a joke it has become.
It was great to see Belichick go thumbs down. It was pretty funny. They had a sense of humor about it. Tony, it's not going to matter. It was never going to matter. Why would anybody think that once we got into February, into deep February, it's going to matter?
If the report finds systemic fraud, then it is going to matter.
What's the line you have about if you had wheels instead of legs?
I'd be a bicycle.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing that gets people stirred up like college football recruiting. And none other than Nick Saban, your boy,
he's my boy,
is ticked off at the Big Ten.
Love him.
The Alabama coach is upset over something called satellite camps.
Nice jacket.
In which college coaching staffs travel all over the country to visit high school players. Big Ten coaches are all over the South in such camps, developing relationships with Southern recruits, which the SEC prohibits its schools from doing. Saban said, quote, "How ridiculous is that?" Tony, ridiculous? Or is Saban just bummed because he is banned from doing likewise?
Saban is 100% right in the sense that this puts him at a competitive disadvantage for recruiting. But his complaint is not with the Big Ten, because the NCAA allows these satellite camps. His complaint is with the SEC, which wants to be and has been for many years the best football conference in the country. And if they say that their member schools cannot recruit at these things, they're hurting their own schools.
Well, but Tony, what's at issue here is, first of all, Nick Saban doesn't want to go anywhere else. He doesn't need to go to the North and recruit. He doesn't need to go to Illinois. Nick Saban, the SEC schools make their living on what happens where they live. All right? The Big Ten schools need to recruit players, and particularly faster ones, from the South. So the Yankees go down there, and Nick Saban and his crew are upset about it. They don't need to go to Wisconsin.
In the old days, it was teams like Nebraska that would go to California because they had to get speed.
Florida.
Ohio State and Michigan seem to have pretty much all that they want. Everybody recruits
Everybody
recruits nationally to some degree. You know what my takeaway is from all of this, and it's not about Nick Saban. My takeaway is how huge college football has become. I'll give you an example. Right now, we are in April. You don't see any commercials for the Super Bowl. They're running commercials about the college playoff already. That was so successful. And college
the one that people didn't want.
Such a big deal.
It is such a big deal.
But you have to concede. Look, Saban and Stoops and Meyer, don't get me started on them. But he's at a competitive disadvantage because of his own conference.
Tony,
he is.
He's still going to sign whoever he wants to sign. He just doesn't want to run into these Yankees from the north getting in his way, recruiting them Southern boys that the SEC has been owning.
Like when he was at Michigan State, the Yankees.
You think he would have been okay with it then?
No,
he would have been.
He would have been okay with it if the Big Ten could have an advantage.
Yeah.
CBS's lead golf analyst, Nick Faldo, has admitted he rooted against Jordan Spieth in the Masters. Faldo said he did not want Spieth to shoot 62 and break Faldo's shared record of low round in a major 63. Faldo admitted yesterday in Columbus that he celebrated when Spieth pulled a forward for a shot in the first round because Faldo knew it was too much club. And Faldo conceded he let out a yes when Spieth missed the putt that would have given him the record for 36-hole score in a major. What about fair or foul?
It's not gracious. It just it's not gracious.
What a concession by him.
It's honest because more people walk out there and say, "Oh yeah, I'm rooting for this guy to break my records," and they're just lying. They're lying because now this is what happens. People are going to attack you if you tell the truth. In this case, Tony, here's why I have no problem with it, even though it's not gracious. Everybody else on the telecast is rooting for him. Everybody else on the telecast is fist pumping when he makes a birdie putt. So 60 people with a microphone are cheering for him, and Faldo going against him is somehow unfair.
I don't think you remember this, but I remember talking to you on Saturday. I called you and I said, "Are you noticing this about Nick Faldo? He seems to be rooting against Spieth."
I didn't know.
Now, not on Sunday. Not on Sunday, but leading up to it, I said, what is the deal here? Now I understand what the deal is. If I'm CBS, I may have a slight problem. And here's my problem.
Slight.
Because the number one American star in golf right now is Jordan Spieth. Looks to be on a great trajectory.
Does Faldo hurt him in some way?
Well, if I'm Jordan Spieth, maybe I never want to talk to him because he's done this to me.
Send somebody else.
If I'm CBS, I say to Nick, are you against this guy? How long is this going to last?
But I like the honesty. 63 in a major. Well, I mean, come on. Once again, let's have some proportion here. Because this is what happens now. People go nuts over everything. Tony, how many people are on that broadcast? You got people at every hole. You got people in towers. They're all rooting for Jordan Spieth.
I'll tell you this.
All of them.
This appeared originally in the Columbus Dispatch, and Jack Nicklaus, who was there when this was said, is now saying that Faldo was joking. I don't think Faldo was joking. It's like when
you heard it. You called and said this to me, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
doesn't root openly against Tiger Woods.
But he didn't root for him necessarily. He said that.
Well, if Faldo ends up being the Mercury Morris of golf, where Spieth is concerned, popping champagne bottles, that's not good.
And so the 59 people on the other side of the ledger,
Let's take a break. But coming up, we will ask Scott Brooks who he thinks did him in Oklahoma City.
We'll ask Chip Kelly about his plans with Tim Tebow. Sounds like role plays next.
I love Faldo on the telecast, but you can't go yes when the guy misses.
I think that's sort of cool.
You do?
Well, yeah.
Baseball season is here at last, and the excitement continues all season long at DraftKings.com, the official daily fantasy partner of Major League Baseball. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Why wait until the end of the season to claim victory when you can win huge cash every day? Hurry to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code PARDON to play for free. You could win part of the $300 million in prizes being awarded this season. Enter PARDON for free entry now at DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com.
Time to spice up our relationship, a little role play. Let's get started, Mike. Why don't you give, I will receive.
All right, Tony, let's see who you are.
Who am I?
You are fired OKC coach Scott Brooks. You made it to 3 conference finals, 1 NBA finals. Who do you blame for being fired?
Actually, I blame 2 people. I blame Sam Presti and I blame Kevin Durant. Let me start with Durant, because Durant went around telling everybody that he had my back all the time. After I got canned, these are his exact words, quote, "I support our team's decision 100%. Thank you, Kevin. With a friend like you, I don't need any enemies." Let me get now to that slug, Sam Presti, the GM who gave away James Harden for a bag of beans. Do you think that that really helped me? Was that a very smart move? Whose analytics told him to do that? So this year, I lose Durant to injury, his little boo-boo on his foot that he couldn't get better from. I lose Westbrook. I lose Ibaka. I go to the final day of the season with a chance to make the playoffs, and I miss. And they fire me. And they fire me, and they want to bring in Billy Donovan, who never cut the cord from where he is. Let me explain something to you people out there. Nobody's coming to this hellhole, okay? Nobody. Durant's going to leave. Westbrook's going to leave. It'll be a ghost town.
You like Salt Lake City? You like Utah?
How'd I do with that? You like Sacramento?
Sacramento going to expansion.
You are Rajon Rondo.
Good.
The Mavs have shut you down. Why do you have such a problem with authority?
You know what, Tony? First of all, I don't even have to answer you. I mean, who are you? You're no higher authority. This is a one-note issue. This is about play calling. What happened to your boy John Fox when he got in the way of Peyton Manning? Where is he now? Oh, wait. He's out of Denver, right?
Yeah.
All right, so treat me like Brady or Manning. I want as many championships as Manning.
Yeah.
I want the ball in my hands. Rick Carlisle going to tell me what plays to run. You know what Rick Carlisle did when he was with the Boston Celtics championship team? He averaged 2.6 points a game in 10 minutes. He was nothing.
Rajon,
give me the ball.
Why do all coaches hate you?
They don't.
Dr. hated you.
No, he didn't.
He hated you.
He said I was difficult. I can be tough.
Carlisle hates you.
I am the point guard. I run the team. You know what?
Not now.
Well, how far the Mavericks going to go without me?
How far they go with you?
Well, you know, we'll see how far next year we go.
They
When I'm playing with Kobe Bryant
you.
and Kevin Love next year, how far do you think we'll go? Huh?
I don't know. Who am I?
Your Eagles coach, Chip Kelly.
Good.
Why did you really sign Tim Tebow?
I signed him to be the kicker. Ha! I had you for a little while there. I had you because you think I'm crazy. Everybody thinks I'm crazy. I'm not as crazy as Harbaugh, but I am probably crazy. I'm going to be crazy next week when I sign who to be a quarterback? Rajon Rondo. Actually, because I think I can make him a quarterback. The move I am waiting for is I'm going to trade myself to Tennessee, so that I can draft Marcus Mariota, who's the only quarterback I really care about, and then I will leave Philadelphia with one-legged Sam Bradford, who is never going to play, with the Sanchez, and with Timmy Tebow. Eat it, Eagles. I am the smartest guy in all of football, don't you think?
No,
I must be the smartest.
I don't.
You know why I must be?
Why?
Because in 2 years I've gotten rid of Deshaun Jackson and Sean McCoy, right? And I still have a job,
you the
and I'm
dumbest
getting
guy in
paid
football.
millions of dollars.
There's only one smartest guy in football. Bill Polian, not you.
No, I'm the smartest guy.
Not you, Chip.
I'm the smartest guy.
Not you. And when you're 6-10 next year.
He's going to win 10 or 11. Come on.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You're
Darren Williams. You scored a total of 2 points yesterday. Was Paul Pierce right about you?
Paul Pierce.
Yeah.
All right, first of all, let me just say, I said
Hall of Fame bad.
I said it shoot around practice early today. I had a bad game. I scored 2 points.
Yeah.
Happens every now and then. But then Paul Pierce,
yeah.
Have you ever seen me have to go to a wheelchair in the playoffs and climb out? Big flopper that he is.
He's got a ring.
Let me tell you something. I led the Utah Jazz to the conference finals. Paul Pierce, during the same time, Tony, Paul Pierce couldn't even get to the playoffs until KG and Ray Allen and Doc Rivers came to the rescue for him.
He's got a ring.
Don't tell me about Paul Pierce.
He's going to the Hall of Fame.
He got one because KG and Ray Allen gave it to him.
He's going to the Hall of Fame.
I was playing with C. Booz, who rented his house to Prince.
I
led Utah to the conference finals.
He thinks you're soft. He thinks you can't play.
I mean, I'm an Olympian. Has he ever been an Olympian? How do country want him?
How do you do late in games?
Not.
Don't you shoot like about 2 for 30 late in games?
Conference finals in Utah. Top of the resume.
Not very good. Enough role play, people. Was it good for you? Let's take one last break, but still to come. Anytime you can wish happy trails to someone's pants, you have to do it.
And Kawhi Leonard missed 18 games this season, so should he have actually been Defensive Player of the Year?
How much did I love Darren Williams in college?
You said he was better than Chris Paul.
How much did I love him early in the pros?
A lot.
ESPN Radio, bringing you directly to the biggest events in sports.
Center field, well hit, Hunter back, out of here!
From opening day of baseball,
throw to the plate, safe at the plate,
right through the World Series.
For the third time in 5 seasons, the San Francisco Giants are the champions of the baseball world.
Whether it's LeBron, Chris Paul, or Kevin Durant, when the NBA tips off, ESPN Radio is right there when a champion is crowned.
We have a new world champion. The San Antonio Spurs are the world champions.
And when the magic postseason arrives, ESPN Radio is your home for the new college football playoff.
The college football playoff first national champion, the Ohio State Buckeyes.
The biggest events in sports can be found right here on ESPN Radio.
Happy time, people. Happy 38th birthday, John Oliver. He is brilliantly funny. He has a weekly show on HBO entitled Last Week Tonight that takes down everybody and everything that's worth taking down. And he did the most brilliant interview I've ever seen with Edward Snowden, of all people, getting him to laugh about the NSA's ability to see all Americans nude. But stop doing the penguin dance. That is mine.
Should I start watching this
Funny.
guy? I'm watching.
John Oliver.
He's doing the penguin dance. That's an objection to start with.
It's funny.
That's a hurdle.
Happy anniversary, Fernando Tatis. On this day 16 years ago, he became the first player in Major League history to hit 2 grand slams in 1 inning. Tatis played 11 seasons in the bigs, but in '99 he had 34 of his 113 homers and 107 of his 448 RBI. That is a record unlikely to be broken, 2 grand slams.
1999, a year to look at everything with great suspicion. You remember 99?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Nothing.
Happy trails to this jockey's pants. Keep your eyes on the second place finisher in this race in Australia. Blake Shin's horse was passed on the final turn, and he stood up to try and catch up. Whoops! This gives brand new meaning to the racing term backstretch and should become the official emoji for the planet Uranus.
I was going to say something. It looks like a baseball manager at the cold cut trade.
Yes, it does. Indeed, it does.
We've seen that back in the day.
No errors today, but one omission. The Mets won their 11th in a row this afternoon, but Wilbon would not let us talk about it. Because of his Midwest
We can
bias.
talk about it.
They're an I-95 team, and Wilbon don't want to hear about I-95.
I really don't.
So we go to the big
Talk
finish.
about the Patriots.
Your boy, the Birdman, got a tattoo that says, "Give me war," along with 2 skulls on the back of that head. Is that a smart move?
Ink has worked up for the Birdman so far. You know, I like the Birdman a lot. He's colorful.
Yes, he's colorful.
Okay, well,
I don't see him
worked out
living
for
next
him.
door to
Maybe
you.
you should try it. A.J. Francis of the Dolphins has applied to be an Uber driver because he wants to make more money. That's a good idea.
It's a good idea, but let me tell you something. Wilbon will never call you.
Never.
He hates Uber. He hates millennials. He hates all.
You're not calling either.
Got to make money somewhere
You're not
else.
calling. You got that car service.
Kawhi Leonard won the NBA Defensive Player of the Year award. Is that the right choice?
I voted for DeAndre Jordan, but yes, he's a really good choice. Listen, guys.
Isn't Uber a car service too, by the way?
Yeah, I don't do Uber.
I know.
I have my own car. The Ducks swept the Jets, and the home crowd in Winnipeg still gave the Jets a standing ovation. Your thoughts?
Canada, they love their team. Winnipeg had not had a playoff game since 1996.
Almost 20 years,
It's
yeah.
wonderful.
That's right.
Last one, the University of Nebraska at Omaha, UNO, will have a taco cannon next season. That's exciting, isn't it?
What is that?
They shoot tacos into the stands.
You pay all this money for seats, and you don't want to spend $3 for a taco?
Yeah, we're out of time. We'll try and do better the next time. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
I'm Mike Wilbon. Same time tomorrow, knucklehead. Check out the PTI podcast on iTunes.
Ty Burrell, Ginger Z, shout out.
PTI.